Okay, thank you everyone for coming today. Today's class is going to focus on the second way that you can do an open house. So previously we went over how to use Facebook Live. In this version, you use a combination of Zoom along with Spacio. It's a little bit more complicated in the Facebook Live, but the benefit to doing it this way is lead capture. Because it connects to Spacio directly, people need to pre-register using Spacio, so you're capturing their contact information before they can actually come to the open house. So that is the slight difference and the slight benefit to doing it this way. There is a way to do it with a free Zoom account, which all of you have, basically through your Google Fox and Roach account, so you don't have to pay or do anything extra. There are some additional things you can use on the paid version if you opt to go that way. It's $15 per month if you just do it month to month. But we're going to show you a way you can just do it, with the free version. So I'm going to start sharing my screen so that I can show you how to get started in Zoom is the first place you're going to go. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Awesome. All right. So hopefully Zoom will let me do this without bumping me out. If it does, I have slides prepared. So we are going to go to, let me move all these things out of my way. Okay, so to get to Zoom, you just go to zoom.us, very easy. For me, what you're seeing, I'm already signed in, so I'm just gonna click up here to go to my account. When you go, if you're not automatically logged in, you would hit sign in, and then a window will pop open in the middle, and one of the options will be to sign in using your Google account. That's the option you guys wanna do. You just put in your Fox and Roach email and you should be able to get in. So once you're into your account, this is what you're going to see, right? You're going to land on your profile, as you can see here, and it's going to give you all of your information. And what you're going to start out doing is over here on the left under profile, you're going to click on meetings. Okay. Then at the top, there's a big blue button that says schedule a new meeting. We're going to click that. Okay, so now first thing you're going to do, topic, is you're going to name it. So if we're talking about doing a virtual open house, you would name it something, like virtual open house for whatever the address is. Okay, you can put a brief description here. Next thing is the date. Okay, so you want to pick whatever the day is going to be. I'm just going to say it's this Saturday, and you're going to pick your start time. All right, so 1 p.m. or whatever you want it to be. Duration. I'm going to pause here and just make sure you guys know that if you are using the free version of Zoom, it actually limits you to a 40-minute session. Now, the way we're doing a virtual open house, that should be fine. Really, about a half hour is all you should need anyway to do the virtual open house, right? Because you're just walking through, you're showing them all the rooms, you're panning, you're giving them a brief description of everything, and then you can open it up to questions after that. So really, you shouldn't need more than the 40 minutes. If you feel like you want it to be longer, then you would have to go ahead and get the paid version, in which case your time is unlimited. With the free version, I believe you can have up to 100 people. If you want more than that, then again, you would need the paid version. I don't know that I've ever heard of an open house, even virtually, having more than 100 people. So I think you're pretty safe there. All right. Time zone, it should automatically be the correct time zone to wherever your computer is, but just make sure that you are in Eastern Standard. We are not going to require registration because that's what we're going to do through Spacio. So this does not have to be checked, okay? For the meeting ID, I have seen this taught both ways. I have seen people who just use their personal meeting ID number. The only thing I want you to be aware of with that is once somebody has your personal meeting ID number, they can invite you to a Zoom call like at any time. So for me, I choose generate automatically, and it's going to generate a ID number just for this specific meeting or open house. okay? You do not need to require a password. It's up to you. I think the easier you make it for your clients or the people who are going to be attending, the better. So I'm going to uncheck that box. I do not want a meeting required. Okay. For video, you want people to be able to be on video, and obviously you as the host want to be able to run the video, right? So we're going to click on for that. For audio, you want to use both because you don't know if people are going to be joining from a laptop or their phone. And then you get into muting options. So I don't do enable join before host. I don't want anybody in there before I'm there. I don't want to come into the middle of something. If you enable or mute participants upon entry, again, that's up to you. All that means is when they join, they'll automatically be muted and you would have to unmute them, or they would have to unmute themselves to be able to talk. So that's what happens if you check that, but you don't have to do that. You can always mute them after the fact. When you're ready to start your walkthrough, then I would suggest muting everybody. Enable waiting room. This is kind of a nice way to do it. It's a little bit of an extra step for you, but those of you who joined today would have seen what it looks like from your end because I did have the waiting room set up. So you would, as the host, would get a notification when someone's trying to join and you just have to admit them. You could also take that off, and that way as soon as they join, they're in. So that's up to you how you want to handle that. And then don't worry about only authenticated users can join, and it's up to you whether you want to record it automatically or not. Again, that may not be an option in the free version. I don't know if you can record in the free version. I do have the paid version, so I have that option. Now, this is kind of important, this alternative hosts. So in the case where you are not able to go to the house yourself and actually do the video part of the open house, here's where you could add your client, the seller, as a host, and they will also be able to operate this meeting as a host and start the video. And you can still do the talking over the video as they're walking around. So there's a way to do it. You would just, invite them in via email and make them a co-host of this event. Okay? So once you've filled out all of that information, you just hit the big blue save button at the bottom. And now it's showing you the meeting. Okay, so it says you're in your meetings and you're in the virtual open house. All right, from here, you can add it to any of your calendars, either Google, Outlook, or Yahoo. It tells you what the meeting ID number is going to be. Okay, there's no password. And here's the invite link. So this is what we're gonna need here. We're gonna come back to this, okay? And then it just shows you all of the options that you selected. If you notice you did something wrong or you want to change something at the bottom, there's edit this meeting and it will take you back into the settings and you can change whatever you need, okay? All right. So at this point, we're pretty much done with the setup in Zoom. And all we're gonna do is this invite link right here. You do not wanna hit copy invitation because that's gonna copy a whole email that would go out. You just want this link. So I'm just going to highlight it, right click. Oop, I didn't right click. There we go. Copy it. And we're good there. All right, so that's first step, is to go into Zoom, schedule a meeting, set all your parameters. The next thing you're going to do is log into ACE, okay? And if you know where Spacio is, you can just hop on it. If you don't, right here at the top is a search bar. You just type Spacio and hit search, and it will pull it up for you. What you will see is that there's now two different links for Spacio, okay? One is the mobile app and one is the open house dashboard. This is the one that you want, the Spacio open house dashboard. So we're going to click there. Okay, So when you log in, you will automatically be on your properties. So any of the properties that you have will be here. If you are hosting an open house for someone else, you would click add property. You would put in that MLS ID, the exact address, or even the listing agent's email address. Okay? You would hit find, a list of them would come up, you would click on the right one and hit add property. Okay, so this is actually someone else's property. This is Andy's property. I just put in here so that I can show you guys. So once you have the property you're going to be holding the open house at, you're going to hit start event right here. Okay, so you can see this looks different now because they've added all of this virtual stuff, right? So the first thing you're going to come down to is you're going to set up the virtual open house invitation. We're going to click set up. All right. So Spacio registration link, this is what's going to be created after we fill out all of these details. Okay, so we're going to come down to the virtual open house details. You can see there's not any scheduled yet. So we're going to click schedule a new session. Okay, first thing you see is link to live stream events. This is where we're now going to paste that Zoom invitation link. Okay, this is what they will receive after they pre-register through Spacio. If you chose to have a password, you would enter it here. That's the password from Zoom, if you chose to have one. You are going to put in the correct date. So this would be, or what did I say? It was like June 16th, no, 19th, whatever, 20th, whatever the heck.
It was the 20th.
Yeah, 20th, 2020. You would put in the start time. So it would be 1. You would put in the end time. Make sure the time zone is correct. Okay, and then you're going to click at the upper top part here, add session. All right. So what you're seeing now is what they're going to receive for the sign-in form. Okay, so the header is going to say, join me at my upcoming virtual open house. The body of the email is going to say, please fill in this form to receive an invitation to my upcoming virtual open house. Check your inbox for an email with details of the event and how to join the live stream. So it's a 2-step process. They'll fill out the form that Spacio sends them via email, and then they will immediately get a follow-up email with the invitation. Okay? And these are the default questions here that are going to show up on this form for the pre-registration. So these are going to be very familiar to you. Are you working with an agent? Are you mortgage pre-approved? How did you hear about this virtual open house? And would you like to learn more about financing options? So this one is another one that they've added on. You can take this off. You'll see a little trash can, right? So these two are required. You can take this one off and this one off. Obviously, you do want to know if they're working with an agent, so I would leave that one on. But if you don't want this one, you can take it off. You can also, from right here, add additional questions, and it will take you to a list of pre-written questions. Normally, during a regular open house, I've taught you guys to add additional questions because you can get feedback on the property itself. But what I want you to remember is that we're doing this virtually, and this is for the pre-registration form. So you really don't want to ask them a whole bunch of questions just for them to be able to pre-register. Okay, so I would probably stick with these 3 and maybe that 4th one to see if they need more information on how to get a mortgage. Okay, the next thing you want to make sure is that auto email is turned on. That should be the default, but just double check. okay? And what that means is that as soon as they register, they will get that email auto response with the Zoom link and the information about the property. So once you have this set correctly, you can save the changes if you've made any. You can reset it to the default. So if you've changed it slightly and you want that to be your default going forward, like if you edited the body of the email or anything else, you would set to default. So I'm just going to click Save Changes. Okay. All right. So now you've set up this thing, and you can see now it's showing me I have 1 of 6 sessions scheduled. Here's the link that we added from Zoom. Here is now the Spacio registration link. Okay, it's now been created for you. And it tells you right here, you can copy this link, right? So if you wanted to put out an email blast, put it on Facebook, whatever, you can copy this link and then share that anywhere, right? Facebook, Twitter, email, whatever you want, in order to get people aware that you're going to be hosting this open house. And if they click on that link, the registration page will open. Okay, I'm going to close that out. Now I'm going to come over here on the left, and just a few things, right? Once people start registering, they will show up here under your My Leads. They will also be synced to your new ACE CRM. And just like they were in Contactually, they will be grouped by the address of the open house. So they will show up as a new web client lead. They will be tagged or grouped by the address of the open house, so you know where they're coming from. All right, so you'll see the leads start to come in both ACE and here. All right, and then in settings down here, the other thing I want you to check is notifications. Okay, so you're going to go under settings to notifications, and these are all turned on. So what I want you to be aware of is if you get a new visitor from an open house, you'll get an alert. If they come in from the property page, you'll get an alert. When someone registers from your virtual open house invitation, which is what you just requested, you'll get an alert. So you will know via email when people start to register. You won't have to come in via Spacio to check. You'll get alerts to your Fox or Roach email if this is turned on that people are registering to come to this open house. Okay? Now, auto email status. This is if you basically want a copy, right? So notifications will only be sent if auto email is enabled. So you'll know when it was sent. You'll know if they are represented and it was sent to their agent instead. You'll know if they said they were represented, but the email couldn't go to their agent because they didn't put in an email. And you'll know if the invitation didn't go through because the invite isn't valid. The email isn't valid. Okay. You'll also, you can turn on read receipts. So you'll know if they opened the invite, if it bounced back to you, or if it was rejected for some reason. So those are the notifications. All right. Under notifications, email templates. I'm going to click here. So up here under email template, if you click the drop down, you'll see there's a whole bunch of new ones about virtual open houses. Okay. So if I go to visitor follow-up virtual open house, this is the one I want to show you right here. I'm going to click on that. So again, anything that's in brackets, you don't want to change. Anything that's not in brackets, you can change. So this is the email they're basically going to get once they've registered. Okay. So it will say their name, it'll be addressed to them. It will say, thank you for taking the time to request an invitation for the virtual open house of, and it will autofill the address. Click this live stream at the time of the event. That is where the Zoom invitation will autofill for you. It will give them the time zone, the date, the start and end time. It will also say, if you have any questions, regarding this property or any other property, please feel free to contact me, and it will autofill your phone number and your email. Then it will include information about the property they've just registered to view. So below you will find more information on the property. It will autofill the image, numbers of bedrooms, bathrooms, list price. Details is going to be probably the description, more information if there is any. It goes on to say if this particular property did not or does not meet all of the criteria you are looking for, I am confident that I can help you locate your ideal home that meets your criteria within your designated price range to review. Look forward to hearing from you, and then it will autofill your signature. So any of this you can edit. So if you want to say this slightly differently, you would change it to say whatever you want, and then you would hit reset default so that it saves, or save template, I guess. Reset default is to go back if you screw up. So if you make any changes, hit save template, and then that's the email they will receive to register. If you want to know what it looks like, you can hit send test email, right? And you can send it to yourself to see what it's going to look like. Okay, so once you have this all set up, I'm going to see if I can come back in here. I'm going to stop screen sharing for a second so I can see all of your faces. Okay, so those are the two things you're going to do before the event, right? You're going to go into Zoom first. You're going to schedule a new meeting. I highly suggest that you set it to automatically generate a meeting ID and not use your own personal one. That's up to you. Once you have that scheduled and the parameters set how you want for the meeting, then you're going to go into Spacio. You're going to find or add the property at which you're holding the open house. You are going to hit, I think it says launch or start event, it says start event. And then you're going to fill in the information. You're going to paste in that Zoom invitation link. You're going to set the time and everything else. Then you're going to copy that invite Spacio link that it generates, and that's how you can then share it to anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to unmute everyone, and I have more after this, but I want to just pause at this point to see if we have any questions. Unmute all. Check my chat box here. From Kathy, should you just use 1 hour and stop short? Yeah, I mean, basically Zoom will kick you off. So it's up to you whether you want to enter the time as a 40-minute window so that they're aware they'll only have 40 minutes. When I taught the Facebook virtual open house class, we talked about this. Generally, like 30 to 45 minutes is the max that you want to give people. If it's too big of a window, they might try to jump on in the middle, and then it just gets confusing for you. So actually the short amount of time is better. So I would almost say make it a half hour, which is an option in Zoom as well. You can just do 30 minutes if you choose to do that. Or it doesn't really matter what you put in Zoom because what they're seeing is the Spacio. So when you're setting it up in Spacio, you would say 1 to 1:30 or whatever the case might be. You'll have a better chance of people hopping on at the correct time because they're going to be scared to miss it. Where can you find this training once it's recorded? So my version that we're recording right now, once it finishes compiling later today, I'll send it out to everyone, or send it to Lisa and she'll send it out to everyone. And before we hop off today, I'm also going to show you where there is some additional resources, because the second half of this, which I'm going to get into now, is once you've set all of this up, how do you actually physically do the open house, right? That's part of it. So for Zoom, there is again, everything is free, but there is a mobile app that you would download to your phone, okay? And you would sign in using the same registration that you use, so your Fox and Roach email plus whatever password you chose to log into that app. And that way, when you are physically at the open house, you're doing Zoom right from your phone using the same things we talked about with the Facebook version, right? So you want to make sure camera faces you at first so you can do the introduction. Then you're going to flip your camera as you're walking around so you can show them the house. You're going to move slowly and steadily. You're going to hold the phone right here. But so when you look down, you're not doing this, you know, with the phone. So you're going to practice that. You're going to pick a direction to pan, whether it's left to right or right to left. You're going to go slowly so that the camera, you know, doesn't jump around and give everybody seasickness. You're going to speak briefly about each room you're in without trying to cram in every single detail under the sun. You probably want to try to keep it to 20-25 minutes so you have a little bit of time at the end to let everyone ask the questions. All right. So since I can't screen share my phone, I have a very short video I'm going to play for you that will show you what it looks like when you're doing the Zoom from your phone at the open house. Okay, so before I start that, does anybody have any questions on what we've gone over thus far?
The download of the video, is that the Video Lucius that you're talking about? App?
What?
You said we have to download a video app.
No, you download the Zoom app.
Oh, the Zoom app.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would just go to whatever, like Google Store or iTunes, not iTunes, iPhone Store, whatever that version is.
Yeah.
Search
I haven't gotten
Zoom
that far
and
with
download
Zoom.
the free app. Yeah, Kathy's showing everybody right now.
I'm only at the point where I'm clicking on the Zoom classes and stuff. I didn't even know. You know. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody again. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to play a very short video of the Zoom app on the phone so you guys will understand how that second half will work. Okay, so bear with me.
I haven't used the Zoom on my phone yet, but it's there.
All right, so mute, continue, share screen. Okay. All right, can everybody just nod for me real quick if you can see this? Perfect, thank you.
So Patty asked me to hop on here and do a quick video about what to do when you get to an open house using Zoom on your phone. So I'm gonna first share my screen to show you what it looks like, okay? Okay. So the first thing you're going to do when you get to the open house is you are going to find Zoom and you're going to click on it. Okay. And over here it says meetings. Do you see where it says meetings? Right here at the bottom. And then here it is, Zoom Live Open House. So what you would do once you're in the open house is you would click Start. I have to end this. Okay. So I did take screenshots, so we're in good shape, okay? So once you click Start, this is what it looks like. Hold on. Okay, so here it is. You would click Start. Once you click Start, this is the screen that comes up. Now, note to self, you might want to make sure that there is internet at the house, or if you're going to use your phone only. Because when I was at the house on 40th Street, I used the internet audio and it worked, but it did not record for me to share at a later date. So something to ask your seller before you go in there, is there internet available? Or you might want to bring a hotspot or something like that, okay? So this is step 2, call using internet audio. Step 3, other than being blurry, this is what I looked like in the house. To the top left, this is your volume. This is the camera up here that you would flip around to show the property. This is the end button. And at the bottom, you have mute, stop video, which means stop recording, share content. If you wanted to share something that is on your phone, you would click on this. Participants, you can ask your contacts to join this meeting. So while you're doing this, you can click on participants and actually ask them to join. Okay, you can ask your seller to join, you can ask people in your sphere to join, people in your phone to join, okay? And then here is a more button. So when you click more, hold on one second. Oh, there's where it says invite your contacts to join. When it says more, this is what you see, okay? So you can choose to record this to the cloud, okay, which means it'll be on the Zoom account. You could chat, open up a chat box so people can chat with you. Here are your meeting settings. You can minimize the meeting. You can change your virtual background and disconnect the audio, okay? Now, while you are doing this and walking through the house, just like any other Zoom, there are going to be boxes of people that can talk to you. So I don't know if you need the chat enabled. I would encourage them to unmute themselves and talk to you as you're walking through the house, okay? So this is what it looks like when you click on meeting settings. Lock meeting means that you would lock the meeting that no one else can come in. You probably don't want to do that. Waiting room means everyone that's going to come in is going to sit in a waiting room until you approve them to come in. Share screen, you want that on in case you do want to share something on your phone. Chat with everyone, let them rename themselves. Your meeting topic, mute on entry. Play chime for enter or exit, so you can mute them when they start. But I'll tell you what, when you click mute on entry, some people don't know how to unmute. Just a heads up, okay? And then this is what it looks like when you start the video, okay? This is what it looks like. With the camera, of course, flipped around, that I'm looking not at me, but at the property itself. Okay, hold on one second. So there's this, there's this. Again, that's what it looks like when you start. You can add invitees to the Zoom before you start, okay? You could do that right when you click the join button. Also, if you click on it at the bottom, you can send this invite via email, by messenger, like a text message, or you can copy it to your clipboard. Again, this is all stuff you would do before the open house. Now, when you get there, you know what to do when you get there, right? When you get there, you're gonna, hi, it's Maria, 123 Main Street, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Flip the camera around and then walk into the house and walk through the house. Now, I will tell you, walk slowly, pan from left to right as you enter the rooms. I like to stand in the corners so they could see. Good luck, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty straightforward when you're doing Zoom from your phone. You still have all the same functionality you would if you're using it from your desktop. So as long as you set up ahead of time, you're good to go. When you get there, you would just start the meeting. And as she mentioned, you know, hopefully you've put it out on blast from Spacio, right, before the meeting, so that people are pre-registering. But once you're ready to start the meeting, if there's a few last minute people that you want to invite, you can do it right from the meeting itself, right from your phone. And chances are, if you have those people as contacts in your phone, you've already lead captured them, so you don't have to stress out that they're not going through Spacio. Okay, so if you do what she said and you're sharing that invitation or inviting people in from your phone, it's going to invite them directly into the Zoom. It's not going to have them pre-register via Spacio, but you already know who they are because you sent them the invitation directly. So that's just another way that you can, you know, get the word out there, is you can actually do it from your phone and share it with your contact lists in your phone as well. Does anybody have, let me unmute all of you. Unmute all. Does anybody have any questions about that part?
There's more?
No, that's
No.
basically
Okay.
it. That's
Thank you,
basically
Kathy.
it.
I thought I was the only one overwhelmed here.
No,
What is the app that needs to be downloaded?
Zoom.
Just use plain Zoom.
Okay.
So
It
I
might
have,
say Zoom for US. I'm not sure, but it's just
What
regular
is it,
Zoom.
Ash? Zoom US?
I don't know if you- can you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah. Yep.
But when I click on that, it doesn't give me what she's just showing me.
It-
I guess I,
You got to log in everything first, and it's not going to show you that because you haven't actually set up a meeting yet. So once you've already set up the meeting, like I showed you at the beginning, then it would show up as a list under your meetings to then start. And once you've done that, then you'll see everything that she's showing you as well.
When you first showed us how to get into Zoom,
Mhm.
that was through the company? The company Zoom?
You go to zoom.us,
Okay,
right? If you're doing it on a desktop, you go to zoom.us is the URL,
okay.
and then you would click sign in,
Sign in.
right? And then one of the options is to sign in. If you scroll down, one of the options is to sign in using your Google account, and you would use your Fox and Roach account to sign.
Okay, I'll start there.
So can I just add something to D, what you said? The Spacio belongs to the company and the agents. That's something the company brings you. The Zoom account is individual, it's personalized, it's your own. So
Okay.
it's either free or you could buy it. So that's separate from the company, but
I
we
heard
can
it's only
keep-
$15 a month. so-
That's
It
what
is.
I pay.
That's what I
I pay
pay.
like monthly for it, and then you can record when you pay for it.
Mhm. Right, right.
But you can cancel at any time. You don't have to join for the year.
So you need to have the paid subscription to record?
I think you need
Mhm.
the paid
No, you
one
said
to
no, right?
record because I
Yeah.
couldn't do that before. So you could do
Well-
that. So the company integrates the Spacio with the Zoom. There's a feature for that, but the Zoom agents have to do it themselves. The company won't do it for you for Zoom.
I think it's worth the money because it's the stuff we're gonna be doing.
But even the free one is good enough for the virtual open houses because now we can do open houses again. Some sellers don't want it. So for the sellers that still
Right.
don't want to do it and are not comfortable with, we have so many choices for them. So any
Right.
way they want to do it, whether it's in person, whether it's Facebook Live, or whether it's through Zoom and Spacio, any of those ways, we all know how to do it now.
So what do you think's the best way? First, I'll ask Lisa, then I'll ask Corey and why. Because I thought Lisa's, I have this here. It says, keep this. This is the best one.
So
It's very
So for-
straightforward and
so
it's
for
a lot
me-
easier.
Right, so for me and our market, probably the best thing is in person for us here. It's not like when the shore markets where their people are all from other areas. So for us, the best thing is in person. But again, since things have changed now, it may not be the best for our sellers, you know? So the easiest one to do was Facebook Live. This one's not so hard either. But there's no follow-up on Facebook Live. So any type of, if you want to do contacts, saving them, or getting the information out or the follow-up with your emails with the new the ACRM, you have to go through what Corey just taught now. It's the only way to have any type of follow-up and registration. So basically, they're really kind of all of the same, but it's really going to depend on your clients. Because what you say to them when you go on your listing appointments, look, we do it all, or I am trained is what you're going to say. I am trained to service the way that you want to be. Whether you want me to do it in person, that's great. We do that. We follow protocol. We use the masks, the signs that I gave out the other day, for your open house.
They were cute.
Yeah, Sandy, them, they're cute. So you can tell them we're trained, we follow all the procedures. You could do the sanitizer, all of that stuff. So if they want you to do it in person, if they don't, then you say, okay, so I could do it this way. I have all of these different tools. We'll do a virtual way. Here's what we can do. So then you can tell them I can do it these ways. So basically what we're going to do is know how to do all of it, but just jump off what your seller wants.
Mhm.
That's my 2 cents.
Did you have another question? Okay.
There's only 8 people in here, so it's a small sampling.
I've used
the, oh my God, what's that? The Spacio. And I have gotten a couple leads from that, but I have not, what's the right word? I haven't really gotten any buyers from it. Has anybody that's on here gotten anybody from it? Jerry, do you use it? Spacio, do you use Spacio?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever gotten any leads from that?
I've gotten a few leads. I mean, they really didn't,
They didn't pan out for
yeah, they
anything?
didn't pan out, but I did get leads.
But that's
What is
also, that's not related to whether or not you're using Spacio. That's
I still like it. I
that's
mean,
a
I
virtual-
love
I mean, that's an open house thing, right? Not
Yeah.
everybody that comes and signs in, however,
Yeah,
they're signing in,
yeah,
Spacio, Facebook, whatever.
but I do like the Spacio. I really do.
do too,
I think
but-
it's easier. You can, have to go through that mess of trying to figure out people's handwriting and all that.
Exactly.
But
But I have
and then
had
they
it,
get that letter.
I've had incorrect information where people put in Spacio just as well as handwrite it down too.
Well, those are the
Yeah.
people that you don't want to waste your time with anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna be universal, no matter what you're
but I
doing.
do like it.
Okay. There is just one more resource I want to show you guys where you can find all the information to do with virtual open houses, period. So if anybody has any more questions about what we just covered today, let me know now. If not, I'm just going to show you that resource and finish up. So did anybody else have any other questions? No? Okay, so I'm going to turn on screen sharing again, and I'm going to show you where you can access a wonderful resource that has everything you're going to need to know about virtual open houses, how to do them in all of the different ways, etc. So turn on screen share. Okay. So if I am in my ACE dashboard, okay, right? So when you log into ACE, you're on your dashboard. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go to the first tab, the Education tab. The first link you're going to see says Education website. Okay, I'm going to go here. All right, so this is the main Fox and Roach website educational resource. Here's all your different tabs across here. I'm going to go to the one that says Media Library for Training. Okay. What we're looking for is the one that says Working Virtually, because that's what we're talking about, right? So this is all things virtual. We're going to go here. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom of all of these options, in blue, you will see Virtual Open House Google Site. You have to actually click the words, click here to get to the link. If you're trying to click up here, it's not gonna work. So click here, literally. Okay, so now you have everything you're going to need about virtual open houses. They've even done, which I think is awesome, right at the top, you have a flow chart that takes you step by step everything that you would need to do, right? So if we click here on flow chart, right, it tells you whether you're hosting or the seller's hosting. So you follow, if you're the one hosting, you follow down the left-hand side here. If you want to register, how to use Zoom, Zoom Pro with Spacio, Zoom Free with Spacio, okay? If you don't want to have a registration via Spacio, you can either just do it through Zoom or you can do it through Facebook Live, right? So whichever one of these, so let's say we're going to do Zoom Free with Spacio. I'm going to click that. Step by step, it tells you what you need to do, okay? So if we are on the Zoom Free with Spacio, that would be here on the far right, you're just gonna come down, step 1, step 2, step 3. And all of these are links that tell you how to do that step. So they've literally mapped it out for you, which is fantastic because we understand how confusing this can be. And if you're not doing it regularly, it may be hard to remember each time what steps you have to follow. So they have set that up for you with a flow chart step by step. They also have a what are the options. So if you're a little confused about which one is best for you, what are all the options out there, you can click that and it will explain each one briefly. Okay, then it has how to set up your virtual open house. So again, you're gonna click on any of these and get step-by-step instructions on how to actually do it. So Zoom free account, Zoom paid account, Facebook Live, or set up in Spacio. How to promote your virtual open house, which you can do via Facebook, ActivePipe email, or just regular email. How to actually host the virtual open house. So using Zoom with your phone, which is what I just showed you. If the seller doesn't even want you there, they want to be the one to do the video, there's instructions for that as well. And then Facebook Live. Then it gives you some examples, right? So you can click on either of these to see examples. Then it gives you tips on how to shoot good video, right? Sample walkthrough, how to do a video tour, and live video tips. So this is a really kind of amazing resource where the company has grouped everything together as far as virtual open houses. So you can quick access it, look through it. Just wanted you guys to be aware that that is there, okay, on the training website. Any questions about that? All right, so that's pretty much everything for today. As always, I'm available for follow-up questions afterwards. You can email or text me. I'm also still available for one-on-one help. So if you want me to go through it again with you one-on-one, or for anything else for that matter that you need help with, again, just reach out via email or text. If it's time sensitive, like if you're stuck on something and you need help immediately, I would say text me instead of email, because sometimes the emails don't come through right away. But unless anybody has anything else, we're done.
Great job. Thank you, Corey.
Monty, was that a question or a wave?
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Good, okay.
All right, that was great, Corey. Thanks so much.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Everyone have a good
That
one.
was very good. I'm more confused than ever.
Don't be confused. Just review them or stick with what you know. If you like Facebook, use Facebook.
I know nada. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.